Hello everyone, a very good afternoon to all of you. Welcome to the session. Can you please let me know if I'm properly audible and visible? Would be great if you can let me know. Okay. So those watching me for the first time, my name is Niharika John Mehra and I have been teaching English for more than 10 years now. Here I am with another session for you. Now today onwards, we are starting practice sessions over here on, this is going to be for EPFO, so on the topics that are relevant like reading comprehension, fill-ups, one word, etc. We are going to continue. Okay, and these are, trust me, very easy questions if you compare to other exams, and if you get a hang of it, आप बहुत quickly इन questions को कर सकते हो. So with timer, we are going to today go through some PYQs, previous year questions, so that we get a better understanding of how the questions are asked. Okay, so that's one thing. Second thing is that for every question you will get timer. आपको timer मिलेगा तो आप उसको ध्यान में रखते हुए question को solve करेंगे. Cool. So I think that's good enough. We can start. अगर new हो आप subscribe कर लो channel, like and share this session quickly. Also I want you to answer here in the chat. आप लोग अगर chat में answer करते रहोगे तो बहुत ही अच्छा होगा. It's gonna be encouraging for you as well as for me. तो वो आप करते रहेंगे और let's begin. That's the first question. This is arrangement question where you have the first and sixth sentence arranged. बीच के चार का arrangement क्या होगा? That's what you have to figure out. Okay. So these are mini para jumbles. I would like to call them because you have support. जैसे आपके SSC में पूछे जाते हैं वैसे ही फर्स्ट और सिक्स्थ आपको दिया हुआ है. All you have to do is figure out कि बीच का सीक्वेंस क्या होना चाहिए. Answer here in the chat. A good time given to all of you. I'll give 2 minutes for this one, but next question onwards थोड़ा सा कम मैं दूंगी. Okay, time up. Sure. So, see, geological mapping, this is the opening line, okay? So, opening line here helps you understand किसके बारे में बात हो रही है. So, geological mapping, when properly done, demands skill and judgment, okay? So, mapping requires what? Nothing is more naive than to believe that a field geologist should gather only facts, the interpretation of which is to be made at a later date. So there is something where author is sort of criticizing, saying this is now not how it should be done. एंड इन द फर्स्ट सेंटेंस वो बता रहा है कि होना क्या चाहिए. लेट्स मार्क सम कीवर्ड्स जो कि हमें मिल रहे हैं बाकी के सेंटेंसेस में. While the field work progresses, he should conceive as many interpretation as are consistent with the known facts. So definitely P में interpretation की बात है. We also don't know who he is. So somewhere ये जो sixth sentence है हमारा उसके पास में आएगा. Okay? As the field work progresses, the larger geological picture begins to unfold. बड़ा चीजें दिखने लगती हैं. Experience judgment are essential if the geologist is to evaluate properly the facts and all. तो evaluation की बात यहाँ शुरू हो रही है, which is in Q. सच मैपिंग. सच एक बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट कीवर्ड होता है. सच मीन्स जो हमने पहले बताया है, इस तरीके की मैपिंग requires keen observation and a knowledge of what data are significant. So no doubt R or first S1 जो है and R, they are going to be in sync and उससे शुरू होता है एक ही ऑप्शन मेरे पास है B. इसका आंसर है B. The answer to this question is B. जितनों ने ये सोचा समझा मन में मार्क किया, good job. So mapping क्या होती है? It demands skill and judgment and such mapping requires, demands, same tone की बात हो रही है. S says above all the field geologist must use the method of multiple hypothesis, working multiple hypothesis. Above all का भी significance होता है. आप एक चीज बता देते हो and when you want to talk about one thing, two thing and the third is the most important thing, then you use above all. So इस केस में F पहले आना जो है वो नहीं बन सकता. above all के पहले I need more context. So Q and S are a pair. तो S1 से R related है, QS pair है, P6 से related है. आपका आंसर कितने अच्छे तरीके से यहाँ से फ्लो में आ रहा है. नेक्स्ट वाला करेंगे. You have to answer here guys and make sure to like and share. Good afternoon, good afternoon. Join in. I'll give you a couple of minutes. Seconds, not minutes. Answer to this one is D. Okay, RQSP. Again, kindly focus on the keywords, focus on the pairs if you are able to figure out. Okay, so it's going to be D, RQSP. अब देखो कैसे करते हैं. Under the colonial regime, basic infra such as them did develop. So एक affirmative sentence है कि under colonial regime basic infra develop हुआ ही. Naturally, therefore, now sixth is the result kind of tone. Naturally, therefore, these areas remain inaccessible to the people. तो these areas कौन से हैं जिन्हें लोग access नहीं कर पाए? And that also plural areas होने चाहिए. We will try to keep that thing in our mind. There always remain an acute shortage of roads to reach out the rural areas during any season. Reach out नहीं करा तो accessible नहीं रहा rural areas, these areas. No doubt sixth के पहले P आएगा. एक बहुत ही strong clue था, but still you can hold on and check the complete arrangement. Roads constructed in India prior to the advent of rule were not fit for modern transport. ठीक है. However, एक contrast build हो रहा है. The real motive behind this development, देखो development first में हो रहा है, was not necessarily to provide basic amenities but to subserve colonial interest. तो colonial time पे development तो हुआ, but there is a contrast. Contrast क्या है कि वो उनके अच्छे के लिए, उनके इंटरेस्ट के लिए हुआ. सो आर कनेक्ट्स विद फर्स्ट. उसमें भी देखोगे तो देर इज ओनली वन ऑप्शन बिगिनिंग विद आर. सो एनीवेज इतने से में आपका आंसर आ सकता था, बट स्टिल लेट्स गो अहेड. द रोड्स दैट वर बिल्ट primarily served the purposes of mobilizing the army and drawing out raw materials from places. Okay, so keywords पर hint words को समझना और उन पे फोकस करना सीखो. रोड्स की बात हो रही क्यू में, रोड्स का पर्पस एस में है, तो क्यू और एस अगेन आर अ पेयर बिकॉज रोड्स का इंट्रोडक्शन आउट ऑफ अदर डेवलपमेंट थिंग्स, इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर, केवल रोड्स के ऊपर बात हो रही है. तो वी हैव क्यू एंड आर एज अ पेयर, क्योंकि यहाँ पे रोड्स क्यों थी, किस लिए थी. एंड वी गो टू पी दैट सेज कि रोड्स थी तो लेकिन रूरल एरियाज तो एक्सेसिबल ही नहीं थे, तो पी और सिक्स कनेक्ट हो रहा है. इतने सारे हिंट्स है आपके पास. आई मीन देयर इज नॉट जस्ट वन वे यू कुड रीच टू डी ऑप्शन दैट इज योर आंसर, बट देयर वर मल्टीपल वेज. चलो नेक्स्ट करो आप. Think, try to understand keywords, hint words here, and then answer. Make sure to like and share the session also, guys. That's okay. You don't have to delete your answers and all. It's okay if it goes wrong. I mean, that's how we will learn, no? Okay. The answer to this one is A. Contemporary history is necessary, but it is at best a tentative record. So history is a tentative record. they पहली बार में बोला जा रहा है. Okay. We need more explanation. Why history is not 100% true. Some events can be seen to be so from the moment of their occurrence, like the discovery. Others of comparable momentousness are hidden in obscurity. So clarity नहीं है. Please don't go into the translation. Just understand उसका सार क्या है. The relevance of the issue of proportion is significant. The issue of proportion कहीं explained है क्या? We need to see that. It किसके लिए? It possesses a massive supply of public record, but it necessarily lacks the inner knowledge of politicians' minds, proposals, discoveries, breakthroughs. So it जो है that is history, because we are saying a controversial thing in the first sentence, that history is important, necessary, but it is a tentative record. Okay, it is not the absolute record. So that's why, because it is something that has a public record which is massive, but intricate parts are missing. So first and Q are a great pair. If you understand this, आपका question बहुत easy हो जाता, but आगे भी चलते हैं. It also lacks perspective since it is bereft of a sense of proportion. Important, okay? तो यहाँ पे sense of proportion की बात करी जा रही है. We see कि ये जो sense of proportion है also lack कर रहा है, तो also जो है first you complete saying one thing, then you move on to this thing. ऐसा चलता है. It is impossible over just a few years to estimate accurately the significance of various events. Okay, so S हमें बता रहा है कि ये जो है impossible है to estimate exactly what happened when it happened. Okay, so कुछ details हमको दे रही, कुछ में events की detail है, कुछ में कहाँ कमी है उसकी detail है. Okay, so the relevance of the proportion is significant. जब आप क्यू में बोल लेते हो, when you talk about exactly what history is and where it is lacking, then you come to the point where you can say that this proportion wala part is important. We have to understand the issue of proportion. अब issue of proportion है क्या, what it has to do, why it is important. So उसकी significance को continue कर रहे हैं in S. It is impossible to estimate accurately everything. So we have to consider the proportion part. And it also lacks perspective because it is bereft of sense of proportion. So sense of proportion P और S में समझाया. And then we are saying that's why, because P and S exist, lack of perspective also exists. तो यहाँ पे हमें R आखिरी में मिल रहा था. Some events can be seen to be so from the moment of their occurrence, others are from other. तो ये perspective है. Others are comparable momentaneousness से देखा जा रहा है. Some are seen, that is the perspective. तो R जो है वो strongly 6 से connect भी हो रहा था. Ma'am, if possible, please mention. Sure. String 23. This should be super easy. Tone समझ लो, question is done. All you have to do is understand the tone. Yeah. So answer to this question is A. I'll divide it into two parts. Okay. First part talks about what this income inequality with respect to taxes. Then the second half talks about suggestion what is required to be done. Okay, अब हम क्वेश्चन करते हैं. Hint वर्ड समझना सीख लो, so you are good to go. Income inequality in less developed country is worse than most estimates. Okay. Tax regime in these countries needs to be progressive and futuristic. This is a suggestion. It needs to be ABCD. There is a staggering level of difference between income metrics and actual income in such countries. Okay, so why inequality in such countries it's worse than most estimates? Because there is a staggering difference between the income metrics and actual income. So first को justify कर रहा है, the sentence that helps us understand this first sentence more is P, and only one option has P in the first place. That was enough for you to mark this answer, but we will see the whole arrangement. The effective tax rates are not really progressive with regard to income. Again, it is all about how this inequality is. They need to be re-engineered. Again, need is given. What is needed to be done is given in the sixth sentence. They need to be re-engineered to bring into tax net the enormous sums of missing income. So here in R, you have a suggested solution so as you get in 6. They are even less so with regard to wealth. Okay, so the tax rates are not progressive with regard to income, and with regard to wealth तो और भी नहीं है. So Q and S become pair because both of them are helping us understand some kind of comparison, and S is even less so, that means Q के बाद S आएगा. So you can see P से QS, QS से R. That's your rearrangement. Next one. We have started with 2023 PYQs. Okay. Okay. How many of you got it right? English literature. B is the right answer. Now you see, it's ma'am, English is very weak as I studied in Marathi, but now I'm determined to crack the banking. Could you please guide me how you can improve? Marathi में पढ़ा हूँ बचपन से. Okay. So I understand many of you might come from different educational backgrounds, like the language wise. First of all, English is doable. आप कर सकते हो इतनी जितनी आपने English लिखी है. You have written little bit of English here. I can understand from that you are able to do. Okay. But what you have to do is be regular. There is a great session going on at 8 p.m. editorial session on this channel, and we cover reading, grammar, vocabulary, and a lot over there. So please be consistent in attending those classes 8 p.m. Monday to Saturday. More about it I will talk later. What all you can do, you can join our courses, which are exam oriented, exam specific courses. So in short, you will have to read daily, cover grammar at least once properly, do vocabulary, daily learn 10 to 15 words and their meanings, and you have to practice daily. When you do these four things, like we do at 8 p.m. as well, even if you're doing those four things in half an hour, or you're doing those four things in 4 hours, it's totally okay, but do all four of them. Balance बना के रखो, हो जाएगा. So getting back to the question, the history of English literature is usually divided into different periods. Okay, so this is simple piece of information. This is the real danger of periodization. So something that is marking, showing कि एक danger है, that's the time, that's the point I can say this is the danger, which tends to give the impression of distinct categories. However, there are important discontinuities to be kept in mind. Okay, so however is a contrasting word. It brings contrast. किसका contrast है? Each period has unique features that produce certain resemblances between the writers and a particular period. Okay. Scholars often specialize in periods such as all these. नाम नहीं पढ़ना है. This is again a piece of information which is very much similar to the first one. English literature is divided into periods, and scholars often specialize in periods. So first one along with R gives you what exists, क्या है. Now we are going to argue on something. Failure to detect these continuities, no doubt, we have continuities, these continuities, and continuities mentioned in also mentioned in P. So P continuities are these continuities. We have a pair P and S. Okay. Q says each period has unique features. So in R, I'm naming the periods. ये वाले जो each period है. Okay, so R and Q will come together. First R Q together. After that P and S. Automatically 6 is the last one. तो आपका आंसर बहुत easily B आ जाता है. So now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna not show you the timer, but I'm simply gonna give, because like I have taken all 5 questions, here, so you can see there are bullet points, but I'll still number. आपको पांचों questions साथ में करने हैं. Okay, you have to do all 5 questions together. Please get going. I'll give you 5 minutes for it. Okay. Excuse me. You give all 5 answers together. Okay, mark the error. Mark the error. So if you think there is error in, let's say, A part, B part, C part, if there is no error, then D. Just give me comma लगा के you can let me know. First का आपको लगता है A है, फिर लगता है B है, फिर लगता है second, third का C है, D है और final भी D है. तो आप मुझे बस ऐसा आंसर दे दो. बहुत ही ज़्यादा easy questions हैं. Two more minutes. आपके आंसर यहाँ पर होना चाहिए मेरे सामने. CADAB. Error detection is one of my favorite topics. Like first on top it's parajimbal, then this one. So I'm excited to see if you are able to do these easy questions or not. If you think of SBI or RBI exams and all, even any PO exam for that matter, बहुत tough question होते हैं. These are like halwa questions in students' language. 1 more minute to go. Okay. Let's start with the first one. Ramesh liked his friend's music player to his own. Now, if you are comparing, we can use more. There is a chance we can go for preferred. Ramesh preferred his friend's music player to his own. But a better way to correct this one is going to be Ramesh liked his friend's music player more than his own. तो यहाँ टू गलत है to be used for comparison. C is the answer. It has error. Okay, that's first thing. Given for the second one, A is the answer. Given the complexity, है ना? The के साथ we always use a noun, a and the. So we need a noun. Okay, that noun can have adjectives, but noun should be present. So given the complexity of the problem, not complex. Complex अपने आप में adjective है, which makes no sense here with the. So given the complexity of the problem, the committee is not expected to arrive at a decision anytime soon. Now committee यहाँ पे जो word है, just for your knowledge, it is a collective noun. Committee is, committee are, दोनों सही होता है. But here you can see the context is that coming to a decision. So committee as a whole, as one unit, एक committee एक बड़े unit की तरह यहाँ पे साथ में आकर काम करेगी. And that's why committee is correct, not a problem, not expected to arrive at what decision anytime soon. Third one, can anybody tell me a correction if you were able to figure out? Third का correction बताओ. इसका आंसर C है, इसका आंसर A है. Third ka correction, if anyone can mention here before I explain. Can you give me the correction? Okay, so this is a question of redundancy. A group of students on a visit to Srinagar circumnavigated. जब circumnavigated हो रहा है, okay, so around की need नहीं है, they mean the same. So answer to this one was C. The group of students, okay, and they were on a visit to. अगर आप बोलते हैं ग्रुप ऑफ स्टूडेंट्स इन श्रीनगर तो अलग बात होती, ओके. On a visit is a phrase which is absolutely right. And because I'm using this phrase, I have to use to and then उसका destination बताऊंगी मैं. So a group of students on a visit to which place? To Srinagar. Circumnavigated the Dal Lake. Dal Lake के आसपास घूम रहे थे. So around is redundant, unnecessary word, and that was your error. Fourth one, super simple. A is your answer. आप बंद करके आंसर दे सकते हो ये तो, because of the two का जब context है, I cannot use superlative. I have to use smarter. Okay. So Jitendra was the smarter of the two children in the room. So whenever there is a comparison and the structure is of the two, of both of them, both या two है, when we understand only two participants are there, then you have to use smarter, that is, or any comparative degree for that matter, और वो आप the के साथ use कर सकते हो, okay? She is the taller out of these two, okay? So ऐसे करके भी आप बोल सकते हो, smarter आएगा. D is the answer for this one. No error. He asked me. He asked me if I would. This is an indirect sentence, so you have to keep all the rules of indirect sentence in mind as you answer this. So he asked me if I would be interested in what? In signing up. Signing up as what? As a member. A member of what? Of group. So fifth one has no error in it. Okay? Is there any question that you want to ask? I hope this is clear to all of you. If there is any question, any doubt, you can ask. So we are done here, guys. This much for today's session. I'm gonna continue taking some PYQs along with more questions for you to practice, because we have seen this thing as as the years progress, we get tougher competition, due to which exam paper questions become more difficult. Okay, this is how the nature of exam, this is how things are working around, at least in competitive exams in India. We can see the competition has raised up, and we need to make sure we are at that level. It is not how it used to be. Earlier questions would feel like really easy to be solved. Still, some students got selected and some didn't, but as of now, you have to be prepared for some challenging questions as well. These were really really very easy questions. If you are preparing for other exams, ये तो आपको आग बंद करके कर लो ऐसे questions हैं. Still, if questions are easy, we want more accuracy. We want you people to do better. And simply keep practicing, keep joining the sessions, and I'll help you guys figure things out. I will help you guys to learn things. Through practice, we are going to learn a lot of things. And that should be enough for your preparation, at least for this exam. Okay? थोड़ा बहुत भी आता है तो बाकी ये practice से हो जाएगा. So that's it. And as I told you, 8 p.m. we have an editorial session. We cover a lot in that. Editorial is taken from the Hindu. You also get the PDF of editorial later on. So for that, please contact our team. There are details of courses and our website and app given in the description box below. Do check them out. Today we did 23 questions, and we are going to continue doing more questions. So I hope to see you more in the class. Okay. I hope there is no doubt. Everything is clear. ठीक है? So we'll meet you later in the evening. Bye bye. Till then, take care.